Yo, what's up? What's happening? What's popping? How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Glad to see you here, man. We are here. We made it to another Monday following another disappointing loss by our Falcons. It is what it is. Unfortunately, being a Falcons fan, you kind of get used to that statement somewhat. But we move on. We move on. We press forward. Bye week could not have came at a better time. So we're here for the post game show, as I like to call it. Also, the player grades as well. Then we'll talk about some other things also. Y'all got anything y'all want to discuss? Of course, let me know. But yeah, let's get to it, man. I want to welcome everybody in, and I want to thank you. Of course, my name is Toddy. And here we are. We are here. We are here. We are here. Tough loss, disappointing loss. There's been a lot of stuff going on since that loss. There's been a lot of speculation on whether or not Arthur Smith would be fired, and definitely don't look like that's going to be the case. And I kind of alluded to that, or at least not right, at least not this week. And I kind of alluded to that in the post game show, last night. I really didn't anticipate him being fired with us being knee deep in the playoff race. But anything can happen. Anything can definitely happen. Anything can happen. Let's see what we got checking in so far. We got our man John Brooks checking in. Y'all make sure to check out John on YouTube. Also does a great job providing Georgia sports content. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to show him some love. He said, I can't believe Arthur Blank hasn't fired that bomb Arthur Smith. It goes to show that he doesn't care about winning like he claims. He does want to win. He would have fired Arthur Smith. And honestly, John, I don't think it's that easy. I mean, it is that easy. He could fire him, but it's a lot of moving parts that go into that. Again, we still are in the playoff race. Still can actually win a division. And also, I think as an owner, you try not to make a whole lot of rash decisions. You got potential coaches looking at this also as well. So I really don't think a move will be made until we kind of get almost realistically out of the playoffs. Because we got an easy schedule coming up, man. We rattle off 3, 4, 5 straight victories. We're not even thinking about or talking about this anymore. So it's a lot of football left to be played, and a lot of things that could happen. Now, if we do happen to lose coming off the bye week, yeah, you might pull the plug on them then. But we'll see how everything goes. John says Arthur Blank needs to retire and Arthur Smith needs to be fired. I can't believe that senile old man hasn't fired Arthur Smith. So John is banging on Arthur Blank here. He also says I'll give Taylor Heineke a B+. He is playing just like Ritter, holding the ball way too long and taking sacks. I definitely agree with you on that one there. C-Dub in the building. What's happening with C-Dub? Checking in. Says, yeet, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Diva checking in. How's it going, Miss Diva? What's going on? Says, I can't wait tonight. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's good to see, Dub? What's happening? What's popping, everybody? Winston checking in. What's happening with your brother from the eye test? Also, to make sure to check out Winston and also John Harris. They now have officially launched their YouTube channel. If John comes in tonight, we'll get him to put the link in there. Or Winston, you can put the link in the comments also. Either way, make sure to show them some love. Make sure to follow the channel. They got a lot of great things going on over there. So show them some love also, please, if you don't mind. We got Facebook user checking in. What's good, Facebook user? What's happening? What's going on? Y'all give me a second. I forgot to set something for my Facebook crew. I forgot to set it to public so people on Facebook can see it. Okay, there we go. Diva also says, I'm tired of being tired. I need this ball. Let's ring the bell. I think we all can relate to that also. My dog Nando in the building. What's happening with you, Nando? How you feeling, bro? What's going on? What is going on? C-Dubs as well. Tired of let's go in on the leadership of the Falcons. What leadership? What leadership? What's up with your races? What's up, Tyler? What's happening with your race? How's it going? How are you going? How are you doing? Getting tongue-tied. Facebook said that was an embarrassing loss. It was very embarrassing. Week in, week out, something needs to change real quick. I definitely agree on that. Definitely agree. Basically, I want to go back to 2016. I do too. And let's just run the ball on February 5th, 2017. Brian Strong, should the Falcons trade Grady Jarrett this offseason? He's 30 with a knee injury. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if the offseason is necessarily the best time to trade him. If you really want to trade him, I would maybe try to let him come back from injury and show other teams that he still got something. But I don't know. I like to look at the financials on it, like what's the cap implications and all that before I really say whether we should or shouldn't trade him. So give me a little bit of time to look at that and see how it affects our salary cap thus far. And then I can give you a better answer. I'll say everybody, again, welcome in everybody watching on YouTube. Welcome in everybody watching on Facebook. Do me a big favor. Make sure that you do hit the like button. That's the best way that you can show me any kind of love, appreciation, gratitude. Thanks. It's just simply hitting that like button on Facebook or YouTube. And thank you. I do appreciate it. Diva says, Art Smith says he wants to keep his job and he knows he's got to make a change on radio. On the radio, I think that bought him some more time. Yeah. And I said last night, Diva, I didn't really anticipate him getting fired today. But we still right here in the playoff race. You know, if we were like four games out of the playoff race, then it might be a different story. But as long as we this close to winning the division and making a wild card spot, I knew Arthur wouldn't get rid of him. Arthur Blank has shown over the decades he typically don't make rash decisions. You know, he's a pretty calculated owner, if nothing else. Facebook said the game was supposed to be easy. I agree. Team only won one game with a QB that hadn't played in over a year. I know. Super disappointing. Wallace, what's up with you, bro? How you feeling tonight? Says, what's going on with you? I'm doing good. Travis checking in. What's going on with you, Travis? How you feeling, man? Says, what's up? 478 in the bill. Let's ring the bill for the 478. The blank is Jerry Jones Jr. He likes yes, man. Unfortunately, that means the Smith isn't going anywhere. Let's see here. Mills and also Winston Mills has dropped the link. So send him the link to the show, Winston. Keon, what's up, bro? The truth is I'm tired. You and me, bro. You and me both. We both are tired. My dog 3 Daddy is in Bill. That says Falcons in the tough spot. At least we will not lose Sunday. we will beat the bye week. Let's ring the bell for us beating the bye week. Let's ring the bell for us finally winning the game because we can't lose to the bye week. My dog G in the building. What's up with you, G? How we feeling, man? How you doing? How we doing? Wallace says, no, Tyler, we should not trade Grady and let him finish his career with us if he chooses to. Now, Wallace, I got to disagree with you on that, bro. Because that's some of the stuff that got us in salary cap hell. And what I mean by that, when we think that players have to finish their career in Atlanta. That's some of the trouble Arthur Blank got into with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, that Falcons for life stuff. I don't think that's the right mentality to have. Like you look at the Patriots and these teams that be winning Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh traditionally they don't even sign players to a lot of guaranteed money compared to the rest of the league, because Pittsburgh you got to get rid of players at certain times and you don't need them huge guaranteed contracts in a way. That was a big issue that Le'Veon Bell had with them. That was a big issue that Antonio Brown had with them. So I'm definitely not a fan of just this novelty that you can play here until you decide you're going to retire. You know, if Grady is no longer giving us a production that meets his contract, he got to go. And I feel like that about any and every player. You know, I'm not buying into that Falcons for life stuff at all. Demetrius, what's up with you, bro? How you feeling, man? How you doing? What's going on? Just make sure I check everybody in here. Justin Hutchinson, do you think sweeping the Saints this year and going 89 wins the division? Yes, I do. I do. If we sweep the Saints and go 8-9, I think that can win the division for us. I had us going 9-8 in my preseason prediction. Coach's Corner's in the building. What's up with your coach? Says what's good, Todd? Everyone in the Tide Falcons organization except Cool and Lamb gets an F. Y'all make sure to check out the Coach's Corner also on YouTube. Launching a YouTube channel that's focusing strictly on Falcons defense. So that's going to be very interesting. That's a niche that no other Falcons creator has really tapped into. So show them some love also on that YouTube channel. C-Dub, so listen to the radio. All I heard is 92.9 a game will stand by your coach, even if he can't coach. Brian Strong says AJ, Terrell, Grady, and Kyle Pitts could all be traded for our future quarterback. Man, that's giving up a lot. That's a big haul. We better get a lot coming back. Nando says, how do you feel about us facing the Aints and they're signing JPP? We are we should get a victory when teams see our ball club. I don't know how that's gonna play out. I think coming out off of Bob being at home, I foresee us winning that game. So I'm gonna put that in the dub column for the Falcons. I do want to address something, y'all, before we get to the player grades. Like, I was on these, internet streets. Yes, I said streets, as I often am, and I came across a tweet from D. Alford, right? I came across a tweet from D. Alford, and I didn't really appreciate it, man. It's not a real huge deal in there, but I wanted to share it with y'all, and y'all give me some feedback. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't like it. Let's actually share that tweet. Let's share it. Let's see. Can y'all see that? Let me bring this down right here. That's his tweet right there. Came from D. Alford. Let's read this tweet, right? It says, where the real fans at? Let's start over. Where the real fans at? So I guess we all just fake fans, y'all. We don't mean that. Where the real fans at? Don't be a front runner. A lot of season left. I believe, we believe. Hashtag rise up, hashtag dirty birds. Where the real fans at? Don't be a front runner. A lot of season left. First off, front runner. D awful, man. We love you, bro. Yes, you're a fan favorite for the most part. We feel like you're a guy that's overachieved. We feel like you the underdog, one of the underdogs on the team. So we really like to root for you, D. Alford. We feel like you play hard. We feel like you give a lot of passion. Unlike a lot of your brothers in the locker room, maybe. But D, we like you, man. I like you, D. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, D. Alford. Listen. Don't be a front runner. D. Alford, I must ask you, as a 40+ year Falcon fan, when have we ever been in the front to be a front runner? Don't you have to kind of be in the front to be a front runner? D. Alford, brother, you might have been in middle school or high school the last time this team was in the playoffs, D. Alford. You might have been in high school the last time the Falcons, you might even been in 8th grade the last time the Falcons actually won a playoff game, D. Alford. Front runner. Oh, what? The Falcons front runners. We're the real D. Alford. Brother, if there's anybody at this point claiming the Falcons on social media, in real life, they are real fans, bro. So that tweet just kind of irritated me a little bit. You know what I mean? It irritated me a little bit because I felt like that was almost like Toxic Arthur calling the fan base toxic. Like, where'd that come from? Like because things obviously are not going the way the players, the coaches, and the fans want them to go. So y'all want to gaslight the fan base. Y'all want to do the fan blaming game. Y'all want to divert attention to the fans, and D. Alford, you spent your time putting that tweet out when you could have actually tweeted something like, listen, Falcons fans, I know everybody's frustrated. That was a tough loss, but I promise y'all, me and my brothers are working hard every day to get better. Something of that nature. But instead, you kind of went attack fan mode. And y'all know I'm a fan ambassador. I'm a fan ambassador. So where the real fans at? Like, bro, are you serious here? Don't be a front runner. I mean, are you serious at this point, D. Alford? You can't be serious. A lot of season left. I believe, we believe. Where the real fans at? Don't be a front runner. Imagine telling a Falcon fan to not be a front runner. D. Alford, we got to be in the front to be a front runner, bro. So you really could have kept that. Now, The offer was he tweeted that. Let me tell you how he handled that after he tweeted it, right? He tweeted it, and then people start replying. The Falcons fans start replying. He wasn't getting the replies that he thought he would get. So then he kind of limited the comments on the tweet. So everybody can comment on it. Only certain people could comment. And even them people were starting to light him up. So he finally deleted the tweet. So the tweet has now been deleted. And he got a lot of comments he didn't think he was going to get, which is good. It's like, bro, how are you gaslighting the fan base, dog? It's y'all that going out here losing to a veterinarian or architect or what y'all told me that boy was who beat us from Minnesota. You know, y'all the one that going out there losing to the veterinarian, man, and the architect and the what y'all said that guy was. That ain't us. Man, we rock with y'all. Y'all know we messing with we mess with the Falcons every year. Y'all let us down every year, but we always come back. We always come back. But we front runners, we ain't, real fans. They're like, bro, you can't be serious with that, D offer. You and Toxic Arthur and this gaslighting of the fan base, y'all must be stopped. Y'all must be stopped. Oh, Ray Ellison said a rocket scientist. Thank you, Ray. I be forgetting what that dude. I don't know what I thought he was, a veterinarian or architect or I don't know what I thought he was, man. But they lost to him, dog. This dude didn't even know the plays, man. But him and Toxic Arthur be want to gaslight the fan base. Why y'all throw strays at us? We have every right to be vocal about our criticism to this team. Why y'all boys in Flower Branch think y'all were just gonna gaslight us this year and we just gonna lay down and take it? Yeah, we gonna respond back to you. And some stuff we gonna say back to you. You may not like. You see Arthur Smith and kind of humble himself a little bit. And like I say, the offer, he limited the people who could reply, and he still was getting lit up on his tweet. And he just said, "Bump it, I'm about to go and delete this, boy. This tweet is not going the way I thought it would. This tweet is not going the way I thought it would." So that tweet now has been deleted. It has now been deleted. So I give him props for at least deleting the tweet, but that was wrong to put out anyway. That was wrong to put out. Like, why are we getting the strays, man? Why are we getting the strays? Like, we really mess with y'all Falcons. Why we get the strays? I don't get it, man. I truly don't get it. I don't get it at all. Kelly says I be pulling for offer, then he opens his mouth. He ain't good enough to be talking like this. Thank you, Kelly. Let's ring the bell for that. Like, bro, and I said that too. Also, I like, man, we root for you. You like an underdog to us, man. It's really like you done overachieved in your career, but like, bro, who are you? Like, come on, man. Like, why? You're gaslighting the fan base, man. Like, come on with that. You and like, bro, y'all. I don't know what y'all doing in Flower Branch, bro, but y'all been kind of tripping some of the stuff that been coming out. Flower Branch lately. Strapped up said veterinary is nasty. That's what the veterinarian, or I don't know what he was, bro. The dude wasn't playing football, before he came and whooped all man. But but yeah, that was one of my rants for the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off that. The offer, bro. You, like I say, you could have took your time out when you opened that out and put out something else and relate to the fan base. Disappointing loss. Me and my brothers are working hard every day to make you Falcons fans proud of us. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on with that, D. Come on with that. But yeah, we off that. We off that. He wouldn't even stand behind his word because obviously he thought about it, realized he was in his feelings or whatever, and he got off that. So we gonna get off that too. Let's go ahead and cut the music, man. Let's go ahead and cut the music. We're gonna do our player grades this week. Before we get to the player grades, though, I want to bring on a special guest. Now, this is someone that I have known for quite a long time now. Also, the reason I want to bring this person on is for a difference of perspective. Because, us being Falcons fans, we talking to each other every day. We're going back and forth. We agreeing, we disagreeing all the time. So I want to bring a different perspective in here, and just see a little bit of what the outside world, so to speak, thinks about what's going on in Flowery Branch, thinks about what's going on with the team, the personnel, and direction of the franchise. So I'm gonna bring a friend of mine on, special guest. Y'all show him a lot of love as he comes in. I'm gonna bring my guy Smitty in. How you feeling, dog? How you doing, bro?
Hey man, hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks a lot for following through, bro.
No problem.
As I was telling everybody before you came in, man, one of the reasons that I really reached out to you and asked you to come on the show, well, there are actually a number of reasons. One of the reasons being that you're extremely knowledgeable in sports, not just football, basketball, track. I mean, just the whole gamut. Expertise in sports, and also you being a person that's not a Falcons fan but follows the Falcons. I thought you could give us like some unique perspective. So that's really the reason that I wanted to bring you on. And again, I definitely thank you for joining us tonight as well.
Okay, yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you for having me, man. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. But I do follow the Falcons. I do like the Falcons. It is the hometown team, so you have no choice but to be in tune with what's going on with the Falcons. Like, it's a lot of people in Atlanta. Like, if they're not Falcons fans, they hate the Falcons. And I'm not like that. I like the Falcons. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do good. It had nothing to do with my team, you know what I'm saying? But I have no ill will or no quarrels with the Atlanta Falcons. I like the Falcons. I want to see them succeed, man.
And respect to you for that, because you just said something key about that, because that's one thing that I do notice with people who are from Georgia or even from Atlanta specifically, who don't root for the Falcons, and that's totally fine. But then it's like, I hate the Falcons. It's like, but why? Why? And as you know, Smitty, I'm not a Atlanta Hawks fan, but I don't hate the Hawks. That's the home team. I want to see them do good.
Right. Same thing, man. A lot of people been scoring a whole, like, if you are a fan of any franchise in Atlanta, you've been scorned by once or twice. And some people can stay on board and stay down, and some people jump ship. My best friend, he's a Denver Broncos fan because he went with when Peyton Manning used to like the coach. But he was a Falcon fan. But when Deion left, he left. He followed Deion. A lot of people with that. A lot of people, as you know, don't like the Falcons because Michael Vick is not there. There was a whole divide with Mike Vick. Then Matt Ryan came. You know what I'm saying? So a lot like especially the older generation, like my mom and aunts and whatever, they don't like the Falcons because they claim that they did Michael Vick wrong. They love Michael Vick. So it's a different reason. Like I said, I'm a diehard Hawks fan. Dominique was the reason people jumped off ship.
Remember that.
The ownership was another reason they stunk in the late 90s. I used to like, Sacramento Kings was my second team in the 2000s or the 90s because I know the Hawks weren't going to do anything, So the Braves losing World Series, people couldn't take that, jumped off ship for that for a minute. So it just is what it is, man, being an Atlanta fan.
You're right. I even it kind of agitated me a little bit. You speaking of the Braves, when the Braves unfortunately lost in the playoffs earlier this year, and I just felt like people were over criticizing them, man. And I guess that's just the Braves fanboy. I mean, I'm like, oh, y'all, hold on, man. He just won a World Series. Like, I get it, we upset, but damn, y'all chill out.
Yeah, but it's that 90s scoring, man, because they should have won more than one in the 90s. Right. And this team was one of the best teams you ever see put together. And seeing them again, the way they got beat, not just losing, but the way they just got beat by the team that put you out last year, that's where a lot of the ire drew from the fans, from the media as well. This Braves team, we talk about, it was a Falcons show, but this Braves team was historic. They looked unbeatable in July and August. You thought you about to win, celebrate, go to the battery again, then the bats went cold. So it's just one of them things that people from the 90s still remember. They still remember Kent Herbeck picking up run game. They still remember that. They still remember blowing that 3-2 lead against the Yankees. They remember Eric Gregg, the umpire, Game 7 versus the Marlins, throwing all them crazy strikes and stuff like that. People remember that. Losing to the Padres and the steroid teams. Like people still, even though we won the World Series back in 2021, you know.
Right. Like you say, it's that trauma, man. It's that past trauma it reappears. And you said we were a historic team, and once we lost, that worked against us because people feel like, oh y'all, we choked, we just choked. Like we just got beat by a better team in the playoffs. That's what it is.
You know, and the team, I felt better than a team that wasn't on the radar won the World Series because I would have been sick if the Phillies had won. I would have been sick, but now it is what it is. You got to regroup for next year. So.
And I was telling people, like, I don't see how y'all said we choked. Now, okay, Falcons content. Falcons choked 28-3. We had a big lead that we lost. That's a choke. Golden State Warriors, they choked when they went up 3-1 against Cleveland that year. That's a choke. I choke if you never leading at any point. You know what I mean? That's a choke.
Yeah, I get that, and I get what they're saying with the choke part because they're supposed to be the better team. But that whole baseball seeding, week off, layoff, rest, that's a whole nother conversation they need to be had because they did what they're supposed to do. The Braves supposed to play the Diamondbacks in the second round, and the Phillies and the Dodgers supposed to play each other. But that's a whole nother conversation, you know, for another time. But no, I can see both sides of it because that team was historic, but we were lacking. You saw pieces of that team lacking throughout the season, even though they was putting up historic numbers, such as starting pitching, you know, depth in the outfield per se, especially in left field. Rosario wasn't the same one for 2021. They tried Pilar, you know, he's about done. You know, your final at bat came down to Vaughn Grissom. Yeah. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. Your final at bat in the season came down to Vaughn Grissom. Because you out-resourced your whole team. It had to come down to him. And that's the problem. That's what AA got to fix in the offseason.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but they really totally dominated us from start to finish in that series. Even in the game we won, we really probably should have won. But like you said, that'll be another conversation. All right. As far as these Falcons go, Smitty, let's start here.
Okay.
You know, right now, the Falcons are 4-6. Let's just say that. What's wrong with the Falcons from your viewpoint?
From my viewpoint, I watch the Falcons every week. I watch the Falcons every game for betting purposes, but I also watching them, you know, because I support the Falcons. What do I see wrong with the Falcons is y'all head coach has pretty much put his foot in his mouth. I don't like coaches that think they're smarter than the room, and he's one of those people. Okay, we can talk about the draft picks, you can talk about this, but what identity does the Falcons have on offense? What are you trying to do? When I remember they brought him here, they were going to 2 tight end sets, and we're gonna load up and run people over with the zone scheme, this, that, another. You haven't seen none of that. You don't know what you're gonna get with this offense week in and week out, and that's a problem. That's an issue that I've seen with the Falcons. There's no identity offense. You got all these. It's almost like when you see a dog in his playpen, got all these toys, he just pull them out, but he don't know which one to play with. It's almost sort of like that because you got your Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, you got B. John Robinson, you got Cordero Patterson, you got Tyler Andrews. I'm naming off these people, these players, and they have yet to be used in a cohesive game plan or scheme. Now, you can put it back to the quarterback, but I put that on him as well, botching the quarterback position. But I just see, and it's starting to trickle over to the defense. When you can look at a team like the New York Jets, when the New York Jets, their defense out there putting on a Super Bowl caliber performance each week in and week out, because they know their offense can't put up points, it breaks them down. It breaks a team down. The defense would love to go win a game 30. Like you see the Cowboys, that's my team, beat the hell out the Giants 49-17. I'm sure the defense will love a game like that where the offense just take control of the game, of the situation. Every game got to come down to the last play, or every game got to come. Everything is 1-2 point possession. This play, it's the margin for error is this big with the defense. Now they're getting tired. Now they're getting beat. You know, they had to go against Josh Dobbs, who was running around. Then Kyler Murray was running around. And your offense is not sustaining drives to keep them fresh, or not sustaining drives to put up points to have some type of room for margin, teams going to score in the NFL. It's the best athletes in the world. Teams are going to score. Not everybody can't. This ain't high school football where you can put a team and they ain't going to score. Somebody's going to score. So I think that's it. They just don't have an identity on offense, starting with the head coach.
Very well said, bro. And we're gonna stay on coaching for a moment.
Okay.
Do you think Arthur Smith is the right guy to be calling the plays for this team?
I don't think he's the right guy to be the coach. The Falcons should have pulled a Las Vegas Raiders and got him up out of there. What they did with Josh McDaniels a couple of weeks ago, got him up out of there. You see a totally new. I want to go play for the Raiders. You see a totally new team with Antonio Pierce. Now, I can't tell you his schemes, his format, his plays, whatever. I just knew he was a linebacker, played for the New York Giants, played for multiple teams. But he got something that those guys are listening.
Yeah.
They're ready to run through a wall for him. And I don't think the Falcons really want to run through a wall for Arthur Smith. I think they gave him the benefit of the doubt that first year. You know, you coming in, the roster was a mess, you know.
No cap space.
You know, the contracts and the Matt Ryan thing and all that. So you gave him grace that first year. We on year 3 now. You haven't seen no type of creativity or improvement since that first. Matter of fact, his first year might be his best year, because this year is a flat out disappointment. I don't like him. I don't like his interviews. Listen to 929. He always come off as snarky and like you. I don't even know if you paid your dues really in the league to have that type of attitude. You likely be a head coach in the NFL. Arthur Blank, man, to a fault, he's too loyal. He's too loyal to a fault. You hang on to people far too longer than what they need to be. They should have did what the Raiders did, got him up out of there, let the defensive coordinator run the team to see how he do, and go from there, man. You got a chance. You got a chance. You got a chance in this division. The Saints are in the same boat with the quarterback and the head coach situation. The Bucs in the same coach with the head coach in the quarterback situation. The Panthers got a rookie, you know, and they're boycotting up there in Charlotte. So you got an opportunity. So I would have definitely pulled the plug. Like, what are you waiting for? Who are you waiting on? He is what he is. He's showing what he's gonna do. He's so like you drafted Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and 2 of the 3, the only ones that get consistent looks at targets per se every week, you know. So I think he's a little full of himself, because some of that stuff I don't think it's medical. I just think that he's just trying to show who's authority, because it's rumblings in that locker room up there in Flowery Branch about what the hell are we doing, especially on offense.
Yeah, I heard the same thing that you just said also from on Dukes and Bell. Carl Duke said the same thing, and he wasn't revealing the names of any sources, but like you said, he said there was rumblings about the offense that came out. So you make a good point when you do say that. You mentioned Kyle Pitts, Smitty.
Yeah.
Now, the last time me and you did a stream or show together, I was on your live. I don't know if you remember that over 3 years ago. You remember that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, as you recall, I was on there saying, look, no, do not draft this guy, Kyle Pitts. You know, I wanted a quarterback, Micah Parsons. I would even took Penei Sewell at the time. Yeah. But I was adamant that I did not want Kyle Pitts on this team. And I just feel like it might boil down to what you just said about Coach Arthur Smith. He's obviously not a scheme fit in this offense, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for Kyle Pitts and the Falcons? Is this one of these situations where they just need to get a divorce, or can this be fixed?
Yeah, go find a team willing to give up a second and a 4th and just keep it moving. You just got go find a team that really go call the LA Chargers. They need a tight end. Give them the target for Herbert. Ask for a second and a 4th. If his value even there, it may have to be a 3rd and a 5th, because his value has been driven to the ground. And go from there. Now, I did want him on the Cowboys, but Cowboys have found something. Dak has found something with the kid Jake Ferguson, who was a 4th round pick. Who I want to say came the same year as Pitt. No, he was a rookie last year. But Jake Ferguson has become a target machine for Dak Prescott. He's become that safety valve for Dak. And Kyle Pitts is like, what do you do with him? In Florida, he was a beast. He was a monster. with Matt Ryan that first year, he got 1,000 yards. Now all of a sudden he can't play football no more. Right. First off, I think something's going on in here a little bit. You know, I'm not questioning the man, his integrity, his heart.
Okay.
But in his heart, I think a little bit I think the situation last year with injuries and Mariota overthrowing him has gotten to him mentally. He need to get to a spot where somebody, I think the Falcons have turned their back on him, but they've turned the page on him, per se. Mm-hmm. He's not in the game. You seen Janu Smith, he's having career games with the Falcons. Yeah. Well, you got Kyle, you running halfback, you running tight end passes with the second and third tight end while your number one tight end is over there blocking. I think his morale is low. The mental is gone. He needs a new fresh. The Falcons need to get what you can for him in the offseason and just move on. Chalk it up. You see what the 49ers with the Trey Lance, they chalked it up. The Redskins with Chase Young, they chalked it up. It is what it is. You're not going to hit 100% on draft picks. You just got to chalk it up. I think that's what they need to do in the offseason.
Brothers, preach. I totally agree with you on that. We even got like a fun hashtag that we do on this show, hashtag free Kyle Pitts, because that's kind of like what most of us are at. Is like, look, and like you say, Smitty, you can see when you watch Kyle, he's disengaged a lot, lackadaisical. You know, he's not finishing his routes. It's almost like I'm not the focal point here. I'm not even the number two guy here.
Why am I here?
Right. Why am I here? And you can tell that he's visibly frustrated with his role on the team, because it's almost like, look, I'm a receiving tight end. I'm not supposed to be sitting here blocking 60% of the game. That ain't what I do. Right. You know? And it's almost like he's lost in the sauce, and I could just see the visual frustration from him. So I'm with you, bro. Like, hey, the highest bidder, y'all can have him. Of course, they ain't gonna trade him nowhere in the NFC South, but you get what you can, and you move on from Kyle Pitts. And you perfectly explained that also. Speaking of draft picks, let's go to another one here that was pretty, I don't want to say controversial, but it was definitely talked about. Okay. Number 8 pick out of Texas, Bijan Robinson. As you already know, Smitty, the popular pick in this fan base at the time was the guy coming out of Athens for obvious reasons.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Mr. Carter. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what this fan base. There's one. We have a bunch of Civil Wars as Falcons fans. Right. That's one of the Civil Wars right now. We should have drafted Jalen. Now Bijan, that guy. Like, give me your thoughts on that situation.
I like the Bijan pick, to be honest with you, man. I think that he's a dynamic, change of pace guy. But when you have incompetence at the head coach and in the offensive play calling, it's a moot point. So now you think like maybe we should have just drafted Jalen Carter and be done. If you watch Bijan at Texas, he was special. He was Sark used him all over the field. It wasn't just out the backfield. He lined up in the slot, lined out wide, did special gadget plays with him and stuff like that. He's a special novelty that you could have had and that you could have done with. Instead, the incompetence of the head coach in the scheme is like, what is the point? What are you doing? Now, I would say Bijan is not a 3-down back, but you got a bruiser with Algier. They could have worked perfectly. Other duos have worked perfectly in the NFL, Mark Ingram and Camaro. Hell, we had it here in Atlanta with Ward Dunn and TJ, look at college with Lindell White and Reggie Bush. He's almost like a Reggie Bush type. Like, he's not necessarily an I formation line, but you can't tell me this dude can't get Christian McCaffrey type yards in production on this team. That's what you was looking at, like McCaffrey type production of him coming out the backfield. Look at the 49ers, how they use McCaffrey. Yeah, he runs the ball, but they throwing it to him out the backfield. He's lining up all over the place. Like, he can do whatever. Now, you can pick apples and oranges. Should have been drafted at 8. Like I said, I like the pick. It's just the incompetence of the head coach. Don't know what to do with the pick. Now, Jalen Carter, that was the safe pick, if you want to say, because all of a sudden, you're looking at it from their standpoint. They spent how much money? You know more than me. How much money on defense? $100 and some odd dollars on defense.
120 or somewhere in that area.
Yeah, Calais Campbell and Grady Jarrett. You got all them guys, and I guess it wasn't that much of a need for Jalen Carter, but and people gotta look at this. People gotta look at this. Jalen Carter also in Philadelphia. Look at who he's playing with and playing behind. He would have been thrust in the number one. He's the guy. Looking to produce. When you playing with Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick. I just named 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers right there. Your job is easy. When he came to Atlanta, he had Grady Jarrett there, yeah, but he would have to been looked at. Now, what if he don't get his 10 sacks? Now, what the fan base looking at? Now you got another Civil War. He ain't did what he did at Georgia, or I'm looking for him to do this and do that and do this and do that because now he's the focal point. He's not necessarily the focal point of Philadelphia. They just slide him on in, and he's just getting in and getting where he fit in and doing his job in Philadelphia. And that's why it looks so spectacular because look at that Philadelphia defense. It's a lot of talent on that defense. Atlanta been looking for a front seven for a long time. So say if Atlanta had the 2 D ends and just need that one tackle, yeah, he would have come in and fit right in. But I think that with Bijan, they could have done more. They could have did more. He's shown flashes of what he could do. And it's just unfortunate that the play calling and the schematics not allowing to show what that kid can do because he can be electric. But when the play calling, it's not like if you can't get Kyle Pitts involved, you can't get London involved, you can't get this person involved, it's kind of hard. Then you have these expectations for a rookie running back.
Yeah, very well said. And you spoke on not being able to get, certain skill position players involved. You also used a great analogy about a dog having so many toys that he don't really know what to play with. Now looking back at it in hindsight, do you think taking 3 consecutive offensive skill players in the top 8 of the draft was a mistake in hindsight?
Yes, it was. You didn't need them. 1, maybe 2, pushing it. 3, no, you didn't. And I think that was more of I think Arthur Smith stole y'all limit. Whatever he did, he sold Arthur Blank a limit in that interview meeting because he pitched up, we need this to make my offense look like this. Not many teams have Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown in their offense.
Right.
He sold Arthur Blank a limit. You like Kyle Pitts, that was controversy because everybody wanted Justin Fields. That was the guy people wanted. Hindsight 2020, probably should have went with Justin Fields. But during that time, it was 50-50 or 55-45. Now it's a 100-0 now. They should have drafted Justin Fields. Yep. Next pick, I like the Drake London pick because he's a big body wide receiver and you didn't have any targets. So that made sense if you want to go there. But at the same time, you didn't have a quarterback. Like you drafted these skilled people in the quarterback position is unsure. It's shaky. Then Bijan Robinson, you thought this was my thing. This was my thought that you drafted Bijan Robinson. You have Tyler Algier to take the load off of the quarterback. That hasn't been the case. So yes, you missed probably 2 out of 3 of these draft picks drafting these offensive players in the first round because of the incompetence of the head coach and the mediocrity of the quarterback position. If you had a decent quarterback, a stud quarterback with a competent coach, I don't think Falcons fans would be complaining over these draft picks as much.
And it's definitely a lot of complaints about it, Smitty. And I want to go there since you just spoke on complaining about draft picks and we talking about drafts. I want to talk to you about a guy who has really escaped a lot of criticism in Atlanta from the Atlanta fan base, from the Atlanta local media, and really just kind of from your everyday fan or pundit. And I want to know your thoughts. Does this guy deserve some heat, or is he rightfully so not getting blamed right now? And that's a guy who architectured the draft picks, Terry Fontenot. What are your thoughts?
Let me ask you this. You know this more than me. Wasn't Arthur Smith hired before him, or something like that?
Yeah. Don't ask me why we do that retarded. But
they get your answer right there. He has no control. He's basically, this who I want. Okay, I'll draft him. It's almost, I ain't gonna say a yes man type of situation, but I think his hands are tied. I think he would have went against some of these picks that was drafted, but I think he was overridden by the ownership and by the coaching on some of these picks. Whereas Dimitrov, on the hand, had all personnel control. So everything that he drafted was on him. I think that's why Fontenot don't get the blame so much, because I don't think that these picks are typically his picks. That's why I put so much on the head coach, because I think the head coach put a lot of these influence, if you will, on these picks, and the ownership putting influence on these picks as well. I think Fontenot has done a good job of building depth on the defense. I think he's done a good job of finding guys to help the offense some. Now, I think y'all offensive line still is an issue. I think they have regressed some. He got to do a better job with that, but what's the guy named Sunday? He was all over the field.
Nate Landman?
Yes, like him, like finding cats like that, you know. He gotta get credit. He gotta get credit for that. But having guys like even the trades he made in the off season, like the Jeff Okuda trade, like smart trade, the Calais Campbell. Like how the hell he get Calais Campbell to come to Atlanta? You know, and Atlanta don't get those type of players.
Yeah.
Atlanta don't get those type of players. They go for football, basketball, and baseball. They don't get those type of players. You know, for him to convince Calais Campbell to come here, I think it's more of the coaching than him. Like I said, because I think that the coaching put a little bit more, got a little bit more juice, if you would, than him within the franchise.
I see what you're saying, being that he was high first. All right, let's go back to coaching then. When you say some more juice than him, two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think Arthur Smith's father being a multi-billionaire plays a part in that hiring? And in the second part, if Arthur Smith gets fired at the end of the year, do you know a lot about Arthur Blank? Do you think Arthur Blank allows Terry to hire his own head coach at that point in time?
Ooh, great two-part question. The first question is, I don't get into all that. I think there's more of Twitter, social media with the whole FedEx thing. And the guy ain't gonna say he didn't pay his dues, you know, but say that his daddy got some influence. Like, look at the Jones family, you know what I'm saying, or the Kraft family. You know, everybody comes from in that league when you're a high ranking, comes from somebody, somewhere, and somebody. So I don't think that his daddy on the FedEx have any merit of him getting the head job. I just think it was the way he turned around Tannehill and how he used Derrick Henry and AJ Brown and how their offense looked with Tennessee when he became the OC. So I think that's where people was hanging their hats. I think that's what Arthur Blank was hanging his hats on. But I don't think Arthur Blank took into consideration that Derrick Henry wasn't coming to Atlanta. AJ Brown wasn't coming to Atlanta. You got Janu Smith, you got the tight end from the situation. Yeah. You know,
he's been playing well too.
Yeah, and he's balling, you know. And if you want to, you can get the quarterback for that situation next year.
I don't know about that one.
if you want to. But I don't think that his dad got anything to do with him being hired. I just think it's just funny now that, you know, people bringing this up because the Falcons on this losing streak. You know, I just think he's just incompetent. I just think he's full of himself. I just think he's a jerk. I think he's full of himself. I think he's the smartest person in the room. I think he's a Josh McDaniels type, Kyle Shanahan type, without the results. As for what was the second question? What was the second part?
The second part is, if Arthur Smith is fired at the end of the year, do you think Arthur Blank allows Fontenot to pick his coach?
I don't think he does. I think he let Fontenot pick the DC. Did the DC come from New Orleans?
Yes, he did.
So I think that as far as he go there, I think Arthur Blank is going to be all hands on deck. Look, Arthur Blank getting up there in years now.
Yeah, he's like 8 and 9.
Yeah, he ain't got time to be playing around and putting foot around with this head coach position. The next one got to be the guy. He got to be the next two decisions for the Atlanta Falcons got to be it. It got to be the quarterback and the head coach. You got to get them two right, because you got to look at it, Tidy. The division is wide open, and you can own it for years to come.
Yes.
Tampa Bay is in flux. Carolina don't know what they're doing. New Orleans, they're trying to get rid of the head coach, and Derek Carr, he's stinking it up. So I think that he got to make he has to hit a home run on the next head coach and that quarterback. Somebody just said Calais Campbell is a bust here. Oh man, this fan base is brutal, man. But I just think that he has to hit the home. He got to hit a home run with the quarterback. He need to hit a home run with the head coach. He has to. I don't know if it's going to be by draft, by trade, but he got to hit a home run with the head coach and the quarterback because this division can be y'all for years to come.
Yeah, and we'll say it. And okay, let's continue there. When you say head coach, like, and I know we just throwing pebbles in the ocean at this point, but hypothetically speaking, Arthur Smith is fired on Black Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think would fit this team?
Ooh, who do I think would fit this team? I call well, they're gonna get fired. The enemy probably gonna be the head coach in Washington, so he's gonna get fired. I've heard that the Bengals defensive coordinator, he's been popular around. I would definitely go look at somebody on. I know y'all don't like Kyle Shanahan, but I'll definitely go look at somebody on his staff. Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes. I would definitely go look at Steve Wilkes, man. I would definitely look at Steve Wilkes as the head coach for this team. And it just depends on if you want to go offense or defense. But I would definitely look at Steve Wilkes. I think he got a raw deal in Denver. Not deal. Yeah, Arizona. He got a raw deal in Carolina. I think that he will fit perfectly and bring that attitude that this team would need.
Dig it. All right, let's go to somebody else in the front office, Smitty.
Okay.
Another guy who has become more of a common criticized person as these last probably 7-8 years, Rich McKay. From what you know, what role does Rich McKay play in this franchise and personnel? Some people will tell you that the Falcons filter comes from Rich McKay, and I'm telling you now, the Falcons fans that I interact with every single day tell me, Toddy, we gotta fire Rich McKay.
Now it's funny. I met me and my boy Quinn went to Falcons training camp back in 2006, and Rich McKay was there. I met him. I met Arthur Blank, and it's 2023. Why is he still there? Why is he still there? Now somebody made a comment that he's running the organization. Well, if he's running the organization, then make him the general manager. Like, I think they're still trying to live off that glory from the early 2000s. Like, you got to get somebody younger. You got to get somebody wiser. You got to get somebody innovative in there. Fundo can't do his job because this guy is still lurking around.
Yeah.
Let's just be call a spade a spade. He can't really do what he want to do because this guy's still lurking around because he still buddies with Arthur Blank, I'm sorry. He's still tight with Arthur Blank. He still, Blank can do no wrong in Arthur Blank eyes. So as long as that's around, Fontenot can't do his job. And you're right, he does deserve blame. If he's the one pulling the strings and overriding decisions and calling the shots, I'm sure he was heavy on the hiring of Arthur Smith anyway. So I think, yeah, he need to go. But that goes to what I said earlier. Arthur Blank, he's loyal to a fault, man. He ain't going to get rid of him because he's been down with him for so long, ever since he bought the team. He's the football. Arthur Blank had to lean on him because McKay is the football guy. Right. He had to learn football through Rich McKay.
Kind of his mentor, to sort of say.
Exactly. So he ain't going to get rid of that. So from that aspect, you sort of stuck and you sort of tied. So with that, you see somebody just put hardback could be. Hey, I don't know about that, but I think Vance, Steve Blakewell, he is the best head coaching candidate. But back to Rich McKay, man, he's been around the Falcons organization since 01, 02?
Yeah, right around the time that Blank bought the team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so like I said, he was the one that taught Arthur Blank football. He's the one that showed him the X's and O's, the ins and outs, how an organization is supposed to be run, how a team is supposed to be run, per se. So I don't think you're going to get much traction with getting Rich McKay out of there because he pretty much basically Arthur Blank's right-hand man.
All right, let's go to another very, very hot topic in Falcon Land. I know this is gonna seem like a dumb question, but I want to ask you anyway. Then we'll continue to talk about this topic a little bit. But what are your thoughts on the Falcons' current quarterback room?
It stinks. Like Patrick Beverly meme, man. It stinks, man. And I like Ritter. I think Ritter got dealt a bad hand last year. That game when the Falcons played Carolina and Marcus Mariota threw that interception when he landed on his head, which should have been the next game. I think he had a bye week after that. I think that their Desmond Ritter should have started right after that. Then you would have had 7, 8 games under his belt. Then you could have made a proper evaluation in the offseason on if this guy's going to be the future or not. They didn't do that. They put him in the last 4 games, 4 meaningless games. He played okay. You know, I was rooting for him. I was hoping to get the starting job. But also in the preseason, when he didn't play him, I thought that was the problem. Like, what are we doing here? Why aren't you playing him? He only had one half of football.
No, one series, I think.
One series. I'm sorry, one series against the Bengals. He should have been in all 3 games to at least the third quarter and go from there. And him not getting those reps, it bit him in the butt. It has bitten him in the butt this season. The fumbles, the turnovers, the not being decisive in his throws, the not reading the windows. He's had some good moments, but he also had some very bad moments. Particularly the turnovers. You know, then he getting benched. Then the Taylor Heineke, he's a backup for a reason.
Right.
He's not your future. He's a backup for a reason. He's a backup to come in and give you 1 or 2 games for somebody to get injured, and he go back holding the clipboard. So they got to clean that quarterback room up. I don't want to see no more retread veterans. Don't go get a Garoppolo. Don't go get a Tannehill. You know, if it's Kirk Cousins, I'll listen. I'll see what the trade market is for Justin Fields. I see what the trade market is for Kyler Murray. See, because they both gonna have both those teams gonna have high draft picks. I see what the draft holds. If it's a stud rookie that you can't pass, like a Michael Penix Jr. that you can't pass, you may have to look at that. You know, the Houston Texans hit a home run with C.J. Stroud.
Grand slam.
Grand slam. Even you want to say the Tennessee Titans hit a double with Will Levis. You got him in the second round.
Right.
He looks more confident than what you see that you're getting put on the field, you know, with on Sundays with Atlanta with Heineke and Desmond Ritter. So I think the quarterback needs to, if they give Fontenot one job, he got to go and evaluate this quarterback situation. You cannot go in 2024 with this same quarterback room, the same quarterback situation for you to get to the next level because you got the pieces, you got the parts. I mean, I've seen people talking about we need a pass rush, we need this, but if you don't have a competent quarterback that can sustain drives and score points, none of that means a hill of beans. None of that matters. You got to get you a franchise quarterback. The days of Matt Ryan's too old now. He's not coming back. Vick long gone. You know, you got to find you a franchise quarterback to take this young team because the team is talented. It's not like, oh, they sorry. It's other reasons why they losing. You know what I'm saying? And for one of the main reasons is the quarterback position is holding them back. They got to fix that in 2024. I don't know who you're gonna get. Like I said, I named a couple of people who you can look to. Look in the draft, a whole bunch of them are coming out, but you gotta find that guy. That is key for the success for the Atlanta Falcons and the security of Arthur Smith's job for 2024.
Yeah, very well said. I agree with you. And kind of sticking to that subject, what rookies are intriguing and realistic to you in regards to Atlanta possibly drafting with their very first pick in the 2024 draft?
Now let me ask you, what pick do you guys have?
If the season ended today, we picking 10.
Okay, 10. You right there. Now you gotta ask: do you want a defensive guy or do you want a quarterback? Because there's two gonna be right there. I like Jeremiah Trotter out of Clemson, the linebacker. He's gonna be there. So a few defensive ends gonna be there. Also at the quarterback position, depending on the trade up, you have Michael Penix Jr. that's going to be there. Drake he may be gone. We all know Caleb Williams going to be gone. Bo Nix, he'll be there. I mean, you got to look at the draft cycle in the quarterback rankings to see who's going to be there. But you got to hit a home run with it. You got to hit a home run with it. Now, personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Penix Jr. here. He'll bring, a lot of these Falcon fans still love Vick.
Right. A lot of them.
He will wear that number 7 or whatever. If they retire or number 9 or whatever, if they bring Vick number back, he will bring some memories of the Vick experience. But at the same time, that boy can throw the football around the yard. I know a lot of people want to shit dirt, but it showed that he's not coming out in 2025. But those two things they got to hit. They got to get them a big time defensive player, or trade up maybe to get their guy, or they got to find the right quarterback with that draft. With the number 10 pick. Who knows? It may fluctuate by the time the draft comes around. Jared Verse, yeah, that's my guy. I love Jared Verse. That's another war daddy, if you will. You gotta look at those war daddy title. If you're a team without a war daddy, you're not successful. Look at the Detroit Lions with Hutchinson. Look at TJ Watt. Look at the Bosa. Look at Michael Parsons. You gotta have that war daddy. If you don't have a war daddy, it's gonna be very hard to win football games in the National Football League. Look at the New York Jets. They got war daddies all over the field, and their quarterback is holding them back right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they should go defense in the first round, defensive end. Finally get that war daddy. There's somebody you can feed off their energy. I know they scoring from Vic Beasley. I know they scoring from Tat McKinley. Those guys had terrible work ethics. Those guys were there for the checks and for the party and the atmosphere. They weren't ready to work. But the two, you see some of your comments, man. My two picks would definitely be Jared Verse for Florida State or Michael Penix Jr. Those two right there can change your franchise and change the lives of the Falcon fans immediately.
Okay, so let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's say we do go defensive end, Jared Verse.
Okay.
All right, now we got to find that quarterback. So you mentioned a guy like Justin Fields, a guy like Kyler Murray. What do you anticipate their market value will be in trades? And do you think it's wise for Atlanta to give up that kind of compensation to bring those guys to Atlanta to play quarterback here?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. Plus, you got to look at this as well. The Chicago Bears got Carolina's number 1 pick. So they got to see, do they want, it's all up to the coach, and it's all up to the GM. Do they still want Justin Fields, or do they want Caleb Williams? Because I think the Giants going to be right there looking to move up. They can move back. But me personally, I think both those quarterbacks are going to stay where they're at. I think the Arizona head coach, he loves Kyler Murray. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had him out there against you guys on Sunday, running around. Like, he was playing like it was a playoff game. He wasn't playing like he was on a 1-8 football team and they was mailing it in. He was out there playing like he wanted to play some football. So I would check in as any GM would do, but I don't think that they're going to go somewhere. I would definitely look at the Kirk Cousins situation. I will monitor that. His injury, he's rehabbing. Minnesota may move off him because of the franchise tax. He's basically a free agent now. So it depends on how much money you want to spend on that. I would say, let me see, Penix towards. I'm not saying Penix is Vick. I'm just saying it would give some remnants. If you see a left-handed quarterback back in a Falcons uniform throwing the football like a rocket, it's going to bring back some memories. I'm not saying he's going to be running any electric all over the place like that. But I would definitely call in, check in, see what the temperature is. Another guy who may be on the block, UGA's own Matthew Stafford. I think it may be coming to an end in L.A. with him. I think it may be coming to an end with him and Sean McVay. They won their Super Bowl. The honeymoon is over with him. I think the Rams may go in a different direction to save cap room. I would look at Matthew Stafford possibly and see. I will see what this. I know people are going to hate it. I will see what this Broncos situation like Russell Wilson.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
He ain't played bad this year. The team might be sorry, But go
Yeah.
look at the stats. He ain't. It ain't because of him. And to be honest, if you take out the drubbing Miami gave him, they've been playing right now. They're giving Buffalo all they can handle. Something to look at. You know, if Denver can eat the majority of the salary and you don't give up a few picks, it would be something. It would be something to look at. But I would definitely stay away from the retreads, like I talked about with the Ryan Tannehills and the Jimmy Garoppolo's, the Derek Carrs, the Baker Mayfield. I would stay clear away from them. I would get somebody who's gonna come here ready to start day one of the 2024 season.
Yeah, and that's I agree with you on that. I'm leaning more toward maybe drafting a guy. If you can get Fields or Kyler Murray at a reasonable price, which I don't see happening at all. Even a guy like Justin Fields, they're gonna want some good compensation for him because he's young and still on a rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
So considering all that, I would prefer them to draft a guy. A guy that I've had my own lately has been out of LSU, Jaden Daniels. You know, like his game. You know, he's athletic, tall, a little slim, so you may have to come in and put a little weight on him. But I like what I see from him. You mentioned Penix Jr. Arm out of this world. You know, he can definitely throw the ball all over the stadium. The ACL injuries, they do concern me a little bit. So, you know, you may want to do a good medical evaluation on that. But I would like to see them actually draft a guy, like you said, don't bring no more retreads in here. And a lot of that going to depend on if Arthur Smith is the coach at training camp next year also. So that's something we got to wait and see as well.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And before I let you get out of here, Smith, I know I said I wouldn't keep you long. I want to go to a subject from a guy that you mentioned a couple times as you were talking, and that's Mr. Michael Dwayne Vick. I know you did interview him at one point in time, also at Falcons training camp. Mm-hmm. What was your initial thoughts and opinions on Vick the first time you met him and talked to him?
The first time I seen him or the first time I actually met him?
Both.
Okay, the first time, like when I first seen Vick in Virginia Tech, I like this guy's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And me as a Florida State fan, seeing what he did in the national championship against Florida State, man, he's like, okay. Then him getting drafted to the Falcons. I remember the first time he played, correct me if I'm wrong, was in the game against Miami. He came in for Chris Chandler. Chris Chandler caught a concussion or something. And his first play, he was like scrambling around, and he threw a bomb. Terrence Mathis threw a missile, and he called it for a touchdown. Like, okay, all right, Atlanta got something. But I think he will tell you this too, man. But as the fame and stuff, it really got to his head. You brought it when I was at training camp. In 2006, me and my friend Quinn went to the Atlanta Falcons training camp. We was in college at the time, so we had passes. We was on the sideline with the cameras, whatever. The last person to come out the locker room was Michael Vick. The first person to go in the locker room was Michael Vick. That's all I needed to know right there. It was the 2006 season, so you can guess what else happened later on that season.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He didn't talk to anybody. Like he was the last one out there, the first one to leave. Where he had other guys who stayed, like Ward Dunn and D'Angelo Hall, had interviews with them. What was the linebacker name? DeMario
Williams, I think.
DeMario Williams, yeah, he was cool. He stayed a minute, talked to us, whatever. Rich McKay, Arthur Blank, everybody was cool, but Michael Vick. And he will tell you that he will regret that type of behavior he had because he really thought he was above everybody else during that time. You couldn't touch him. You had the Michael Vick Experience commercial. He had the Nikes. You just signed a $100 million contract. He had the world in the palm of his hands at that time. And now that we know the story, he didn't read the playbook. He was partying, then the dog fight and all this stuff. So that was my my mom loves Michael Vick. The Michael Vick now would tell you about that Michael Vick. It's like 3 different Michael Vicks. It's like the rookie, wide-eyed Michael Vick. Then you got the celebrity, I'm all that Michael Vick. Then you got the redemption Michael Vick that we've seen ever since he got out of prison, went to Philadelphia, up until now, that he give these positive. You don't see a bad Michael Vick interview anymore. He's always
Right.
positive. He's not with the foolishness. He realized what he got at stake now with he on Fox Sports and this, that, and the other. He always giving the younger players encouragement. He was giving the young players advice and things like that. That Michael Vick didn't exist in 2006. He could care less if the cows come home. As long as he got his money, as long as he was starting on Sunday, that all it was. So
he was good with that, and he has said pretty much as much as some of the more detailed interviews that I've seen him on, which is Tyreek Hill's podcast and Club Shay Shay. If anybody hadn't seen those two big interviews, those are some good too to go watch because he really went into detail. And one thing I respect about the current Michael Vick, as you mentioned, Smitty, because there are three phases of Michael Vick. You definitely said that correct. Is the accountability now. One of those interviews, they said something to him like, why your boys and your cousin, why they didn't, he like, no, that was all me. That was all me. People tried to talk to me, but who can talk to me? I was Michael Vick. I had all the money.
You Michael Wayne Vick. Like, who's gonna say something? Like he flipping off the fans, and I don't love anybody but Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? That run Mexico. Like, he really was invincible. He thought he was really invincible during that time, and it got taken away from him. So I'm glad that he got it together. Vick is not that old either. People think Vick like Vick.
No, Vick is like my age, about 43, I think, something like that. Vick ain't that old.
It just seems a lifetime ago that when he played and went through all that stuff, and he just like I just turned 40, like Vick, like I'm 43, like he's closer to us than what we think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back then he was larger than life. Now that the stuff that done happened, that he's more human now, and he's closer to us than a lot of people will give him credit for.
Right. You're absolutely right. Because he definitely ain't that old. It just seems like that because everything we went through with the Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing before I let you get out of here, bro, is we spoke about Vick. Now let's turn the corner to the Matt Ryan era. You was knee deep into what Falcons fans were talking about during the Matt Ryan era. I remember some of the conversations we used to have in the group we were in together. It was just it was a real war. Tell me from a non-Falcons fans perspective, but someone who follows the team and ultimately want to see them do good. Matt Ryan, like, how did this fan base treat him, or how did this city treat him, or is, and in your opinion, is Matt Ryan an overrated quarterback, an unappreciated quarterback? Just give me your analyticals on Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan was definitely underappreciated here in the city of Atlanta, man. Now you see what a good quarterback is now.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow now. My best friend Quentin, I brought him a couple of times. Me and him used to watch Matt Ryan games at Boston College. He put me on Matt Ryan first. He's like, hey man, he got catch at Matt Ryan at Boston College. He did whatever. He used to always say this. He used to argue with Matt Ryan, people who didn't like Matt Ryan, particularly my boy B Pool. He used to argue with him all the time.
Shout out B Pool.
Yeah, he had this one question, and it resonated. Who you gonna get? Who you gonna get? That's what he always said. You get rid of Matt Ryan, who you gonna get? Then you fall into a situation when Vick got locked up, Byron Leftwich's, the Joey Harringtons, the Chris Redmonds of the world. Yeah. You don't want that. Or what you're going through now,
right?
With Ritter and Heineke,
Mariota.
You want stability at the quarterback position.
Right.
You want stability. That's all the Falcons fans want now, stability at the quarter. And Matt Ryan brought you stability for 16 games for almost 15 years. He brought you stability at the quarterback position. Did he win the big game? No, you can point fingers all over the yard on that. You can call it from the play calling to the missed blocks to the defense. Matt Ryan balled out that game. You know what I'm saying? He took it to the promised land. He won an MVP. I don't know what more could you have wanted from Matt Ryan as a quarterback besides to change his skin color. That's what I look at it. Like, he did all that he could do for what he had. We're not going to sit here and act like the Falcons have been a competent ran team for 30 to 40 years. They just have to make a mistake with Matt Ryan. We're not going to do that. And that's what a lot of Falcon fans was acting like. Like, you had so much greatness at the quarterback position. Now here comes Matt Ryan. We can do better. No. Steve Bartkowski, Chris Chandler, Mike Vick, Matt Ryan. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's the list. That's the list who have done. And Mike Vick didn't even go to the Super Bowl. Chris Chandler and Matt Ryan did. They lost, but they did. They went there. I mean, I don't know what else you could now. I can't say this though, Tidy. I think that the Falcons held on to Matt Ryan a little bit too long. I can say that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know I agree with you on that because I was trying to put his ass out here like time to go.
I think after the 2018 season, they should have started to make the turn in the reins of getting younger at the quarterback position. And I fought the Falcons for this. They never drafted somebody competent to even challenge Matt Ryan during his time. Right. It was always some 6th or 7th round Hammernecker or Jabroni they'll draft, and he's off the roster in a couple of years. You know, the last time the Falcons really had some quarterback controversy really was Matt Shaw. You know, the last time a backup was a real backup for the Falcons was Matt Shaw back in like 03, 04. Then he got the money, went to the Houston Texans. Matt Ryan never really had a real backup or somebody even push him or even maybe even take the reins for the future. So I think that's where I fought the Falcons at, Dimitroff at, never finding that guy to eventually replace Matt Ryan when the time was up, because with that mistake with the contracts, and you know, when you kick contracts down the road, you still got to pay the piper at some point.
At some point, you got to pay the piper.
You got to pay the piper. You're kicking him and Julio contract. Both of them should have been going to 2019. And you could have, what you're going through now, your quarterback could be on his 5th year. And y'all could be in perennial whatevers now. But now, because it was so botched, the quarterback position, and trying to find Matt Ryan replace, then the whole thing of how Matt Ryan left was even botched. Because remember, you went after Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan was like, I might be out of here. You know, it wasn't even
it was real.
Whereas we draft your replacement, thank you for your future endeavors. We're going to go look at Deshaun Watson while you still on contract. Like, it still was janky how he left in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It was never ceremonial. It was never like, okay, time is up. Let you go on your sword or whatever. But botching that quarterback position is where we at right now in 2023 with the Falcons when it comes to Matt Ryan. I absolutely believe after 2018, when they clean house, that they should have found somebody. And the thing about it is, Tidy, somebody would have took some draft picks for Matt Ryan back in 2019.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You would have got a good second and 4th rounder for Matt Ryan back in 2000.
You find the right team, you might would have got you a 1st round. It just all depends.
Got you a second that could have turned into a 1st, because you still had some juice left. It was just time was up in Atlanta. It wasn't the fact he couldn't play anymore. It was just time to move on, a new direction and a new atmosphere for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. But they held on 3 years too late.
Yep, absolutely right. And speaking of Matt, one last one.
Oh, you good?
What about Thomas Dimitroff? Like, what's your analysis on his 14-year tenure here in Atlanta?
Dimitroff was a good GM. His draft picks in the 1st round did him in. His swing and misses in the 1st round did him in. The drafting of the Vick Beaches, like we talked about, the Tat McKinleys, the 2nd round flops and blunders.
Sam Baker's, Peter Collins.
Yeah, man, you know more than me, but I just know his drafting is really got him fired. The contracts, there was more off the blank, Rich McKay with the whole Julio, Matt Ryan kicking it down the can type of situation. But that player personnel, when it came to them draft picks, I think that's what really got him and did him in Atlanta. He hit a home run with Grady Jarrett. Yeah. Hit a home run, but outside of that, the Massaquas of the world, you know, the swing and misses in those drafts, because the drafts is where you find your teams at. All the good teams get their players in the drafts, then they add on to that, like a San Francisco defense, like a New York Jets defense, like the Dallas Cowboy defense. A lot of those guys are homegrown. The Falcons didn't really get that homegrown guy per se during the Dimitrov era. Like I think 2016 probably his best draft. Ironically, that's the year that y'all went to the Super Bowl with the Keanu Neal. Who else? Deion Jones in that draft too.
Yeah, I think Deion Jones was also in 2006. Keanu O'Neal 2016. Who else? No, Tevin Coleman. No, Coleman was 2000. Tico might have been 2016 too, or 15. No, he was 15. He was 15.
But that 2016 draft probably his best one, but he never capitalized before.
Campbell,
Devondre Campbell.
Devondre Campbell.
So it's 2017. I think that was a bad draft. 18 was a bad draft. And he never fixed that problem. And it's crazy. You still drafting bad. It's like,
yeah,
like the cycle ain't changed.
Right. Like we can't get away from that.
Can't get away from it. So 2024 got to be the time you hit a home run. You know more than me, and your fan base know more than me. I don't know the last home run hitting first round pick for the Falcons. Was it Julio or AJ Terrell, maybe? But
I'll say Julio. Julio was a
last
AJ, he a little up and down, but Julio, you can say, okay, 95% of the time he was on the field, he was the best person on the field.
Yeah, and that was probably the last best draft pick the Falcons had. Yep. Was Julio, and that's the problem. Julio was drafted when he came out.
2011.
2011. It's 2023 now, yep. And you still searching. You still talking about draft picks. You talking about the last three. This whole hour that we talk about the last three draft picks.
Right. That's question marks around them.
That's a problem. You talk about the one for next year. There's 4 draft picks that you're talking about when it comes to this fan base. So, that's a thing that got to be fixed in the 2024 is drafting. That was Dimitrov downfall. That's where Fontenot was getting his downfall. Arthur Smith downfall. It's like Arthur Blank, you want to talk about him, his downfall. That drafting, you got to get you a dog at the QB position or a dog at the defensive end position. And there's a lot of dogs coming in this 2024 draft.
Well said, brother. Well said. And I want to thank you, Smitty, for coming through, man. I know I hit you up on very short notice, but you came through for me, and I definitely do appreciate that, bro. Thanks a lot. Also, man, this was excellent. And people in the chat, they enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Before you get out of here, man, you want to plug anything?
Yeah, man. Social media, Mr. Out of Line. You can hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on TikTok, Facebook, Smitty Bridgewater. Send a friend request. I'll accept it. As long as you ain't spam or trying to do Forex trading or anything like that. hack my profile and stuff. But yeah, man, appreciate it. It was fun, man. Appreciate it anytime.
It was fun, man. And like, I'm gonna have to invite you back sometime too, man, because I always have shows, during the football season. Then on Friday night, that's just our fuckery show. We be up late at night. You just fuck around, So I'm gonna have to get y'all sometime, man, and continue to chop it up with us. Excellent football guy, excellent sports guy, which I definitely appreciate. Once again, bro, I want to appreciate your time. And once again, we got to do it again real soon, bro.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Peace out. Yes, sir. Right. Y'all, that was my guy Smitty, man. Always great insight in all sports, not just football. He could talk that stuff in basketball, baseball, track and field, wrestling. That's just a real sports fanatic, and that's my guy. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed that, man. Really great conversation. Know we're supposed to do the player grades today, but probably not gonna be able to get to them because it got a little bit late. Miss B in the building. What's up, Miss B? How you been? How you doing? But yeah, we probably won't be able to do the player grades tonight because I've been on here like an hour and 30 minutes already. So I'm gonna get ready to check out. So we don't got a game this week, so I don't know, man. We won't do a post game. We won't have a post game show Sunday, of course, but we'll come through on the Waffle House Friday, and chop it up and talk. You know what I'm saying? And this bye week came at the perfect time for us because we really just need some time to get ourselves together mentally as a team to figure out where we at, where we headed, what direction are we going in, because it's not the right direction currently. As always, man, I sure appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the love, the interaction that y'all always show. So thank you very, very much. And everybody who's watching this on the replay, make sure that you do hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until the next time, y'all, peace. Y'all, God bless. I'm out.